We know that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is happening, but the question is why Hogwarts Legacy 2 matters so much now. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today, we're going to cover everything about Hogwarts Legacy 2. The confirmed news, the speculation, the leaks, the rumors, the release dates, everything. So make sure you guys chime in the comment section. I read every single comment on every single video. Kotaku reported that Warner Bros. Games president David Hadid called Hogwarts Legacy 2 one of the biggest priorities for the publisher. So right off the bat, that tells us the sequel is real. It's not a fan wish, but something the studio is seriously taking into consideration and eyeing. Now, the timing, it's crucial. Fans loved the first Hogwarts Legacy. It was 2023's best-selling game outright, and Warner, they're not about to lose that momentum. They see dollar signs, they're going to capitalize on it. We're seeing rumors, job ads, even media tie-ins all coming up at once. So it's worth breaking down what's actually confirmed, and that's what we're going to do in the video. I'm going to sort through the facts, and I'm going to separate them from the hype for you guys. Drop a like, make sure you guys are subscribed, and are you looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy 2? And by the way, it's important to remember how big the original Hogwarts Legacy was. Notebook Check points out it delivered a dream come true for every Harry Potter fan, and it ended up as 2023's top-selling title. That kind of success means Warner Brothers knows there is gold in the franchise. At the same time, the company is juggling big Potter plans. We've got the new HBO Harry Potter series in 2026, which I would love to know what you guys think, and they're going to align all of this together. Nothing's official yet, no release date, no trailer, but the pieces are moving here. Insiders, interviews, job postings, they have all started to paint a picture of what HL2 is going to look like. So to understand the chatter, we need a little more context. Warner Bros. Games has made it very clear. They're investing in the wizarding world. The Kotaku article highlights the game's development is being coordinated with the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. In other words, the developers, they're treating the video game and the TV show as parts of the same big story. Kotaku even noted that the series is slated for 2026, and that means a game launch likely isn't coming until after that. I would say realistically 2027 or 2028, given how long big RPGs take to make. Now, DLC Compare added that Warner plans to tie the game release to the TV timeline. So if they're aiming for 2026, 2027 as a window, I mean, it's all going to tie in. Don't expect HL2 next year, but you could see it in 2027. This all tracks with Warner's strategy. After the flop, the gigantic flop that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Warner's gaming division is focusing on only sure bets. Industry analysts noted that Warner Bros. Has narrowed its franchise to just a few big ones, which I think is smart. Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC Superheroes, and Mortal Kombat. That means Hogwarts Legacy 2 is at the top of the priority list. In fact, Warner's insiders say HL2 has become the top priority precisely because Legacy was such a hit. So first, let's dive into the confirmed stuff. Single player versus multiplayer. On one side, there are several job postings hinting that HL2 may stick to its roots as a narrative RPG. There was a report highlighting a Warner Careers listing seeking an executive producer for a high-quality single-player action-adventure RPG. I mean, that's almost the exact same phrasing used for the first game. There's other new roles referencing deep Harry Potter lore, narrative-driven design, and they all suggest they want to recreate the story-focused feel of Legacy, which that's the right way to go. It was a hit. Everybody liked it. Don't change it. They also noted that Warner's post, including the sequel, strongly suggest a single-player focus. So in short, if these listings are indeed for HL2, which I presume they are, the clues are pointing to a normal single-player adventure, much like the original, which I think most of you are probably on board with it being that way. On the other side of it, there's actually fresh hints of multiplayer. A December 2025 DLC Compare story pointed out that there was a Warner Brothers job ad seeking a senior back-end engineer for a new online multiplayer RPG. It emphasized matchmaking, lobbies, server infrastructure, and the posting used terms like matchmaking and waiting rooms, which those are classic signs of competitive play. Now, people have been begging for player versus player duels or full Quidditch matches, and the new ads look like they're literally building the systems to support those modes. That lines up with the earlier comic book report from mid-2025. We had an avalanche of job listings describe the project as online multiplayer RPG with live service elements. So expecting narrative designers to craft stories that can adapt to PvP and co-op. In plain terms, someone at Avalanche is preparing a game where players can log in together and battle or explore, which is something the first game never had. Now, one thing I want to stress here, all of those leaks come from job ads, not official announcements. WB hasn't named Hogwarts Legacy 2, hasn't shown it, but these career pages, they're public for all of us to see. This isn't the first multiplayer hint. There have been previous postings mentioning live service games, and at the same time, there's been other postings clearly looking for single-player experiences. I think the most likely scenario here is both. Perhaps Avalanche is juggling multiple Harry Potter projects. I mean, DLC Compare explicitly says Warner may be working on a traditional single-player sequel and an online focus game in parallel. That could mean a standalone HL2 and a separate online spinoff, or it could just mean HL2 itself is going to have a strong online component alongside the solo story. We don't know yet, and I worry a little bit about that because I don't want them to focus on the multiplayer side and take away from the single-player experience. The single-player experience is what Hogwarts Legacy 2 needs to be focused on. Like, that needs to be the core, the surface, the deep parts, all of it. That's what made the first one so great. Now, if they want to add multiplayer, that's great, but don't do it in spite of the single player. And there's another little tidbit here. Warner is aligning all of this with the broader Wizarding World push. Notebook Check flagged a Kotaku interview where the WB Games head himself said the game story elements are being synced with the HBO series. I mean, it's a cross-media plan, huge, suggesting both teams are communicating to avoid any contradiction. So for fans, that could mean the sequel might mention events of the TV show or vice versa, maybe even Easter eggs that tie the two into canon together in the same universe. We know what we're getting with the show. We're very familiar with it, but we have no idea where or when Hogwarts Legacy 2 is actually going to be set. There's also a quick note on the corporate side. Warner Brothers and the game division may soon be part of Netflix or another company. Industry veterans think that this won't derail the sequel at all. In Radio Times, expert George Osborne said a Hogwarts Legacy, it's a no-brainer, or a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is a no-brainer for whoever takes over W Games. Netflix buying Warner Brothers' game arm would likely keep HL2 on track. It's simply too big of an opportunity to make money for their shareholders to scrap. All the moving pieces are scary. I mean, HBO series, job listings, corporate shakeups, buyouts, but they do reinforce that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is a real project in real development. It's just in very, very early stages. Now, despite all of that, there's big gaps here. And the biggest one is no official details yet. How come they haven't pulled an Elder Scrolls 6 and given us a teaser logo years in advance? Warner Brothers hasn't even announced a release date. No story summary, not even the game's name. I mean, some places still call it Hogwarts Legacy 2 like we do as shorthand, but we don't know. We only know what the leaks hint at. So it's important to stay grounded here. Job postings are clues, but they're not proof of final content. Comicbook.com warned that Avalanche isn't typically working on two games at once, so maybe one of those ads could be for something else entirely. It's possible Avalanche has scaled up and is working on another HP title, maybe an MMO or a companion app alongside the sequel. We just don't know. We also don't know the setting or the timeline of HL2. Give me your best guess in the comments when this is going to be. The first game was set in the 1890s Wizarding world, and Kotaku speculated the sequel would probably lay groundwork leading into whatever the HBO show is going to do. I mean, that's all guesswork, though. Will we see new young characters? Are we going to see older faces return? Is it going to explore new parts of Hogwarts? Are we going to go beyond Hogwarts? We don't know yet. And despite the multiplayer talk, we really don't know how much emphasis that's going to have. The leak sounds like it could be a huge part, but until we see gameplay or any kind of official roadmap or confirmation, I take it with a grain of salt. Might end up being an optional multiplayer mode added on that doesn't amount to anything, or it could end up being a full-blown MMO spin-off. The bottom line here is take all current information with healthy skepticism. We're going to piece together leaks from career sites and quotes from execs, but until Warner Brothers or Avalanche puts out a press release, it's all educated guesswork. Now, the fun part of the video is always speculation. None of it's confirmed, keep that in mind, but with the existing clues, one could guess that HL2 will center around being a Hogwarts student again, just like the first game. Maybe the player is another new first year exploring a rebuilt or expanded castle, and given the tie-in with the TV series timeline, maybe the sequel could set a generation later, still before the events of the books, but maybe with more modern wizarding tech or new magical creatures. The original was in the 1890s, so a sequel could move it forward a bit, maybe late 1900s. I mean, that would give certain lore elements, and they would line up with whatever the show is establishing about Hogwarts history. And if the multiplayer is real, I really doubt Avalanche will abandon the single-player core. Here's a likely scenario in my mind. The main game is single-player RPG, but it includes robust online modes. For example, Maybe you can engage in wizard duels with friends or play full Quidditch matches on dedicated servers. Think of it like how some of the big open world games have cooperative or PvP components alongside the main story, but definitely not a pivot to a fully online MMO, since that would honestly undermine the narrative focus. So in any case, it sounds like competitive play will probably be an option. And then we talk about characters. Given the timeline uncertainty, it's really hard to know. We probably won't see Harry, Ron, or Hermione themselves. They're going to be likely too young or not born yet into this world. We might meet new students and professors. There could be callbacks, of course, or surprise appearances from famous characters. The first game, I think, had 1 or 2 cameos, but I don't think that's what it's going to be based on. And then gameplay-wise, Avalanche will probably keep that open world exploration and magic combat that worked before. Why would they change it? If anything, they'll expand upon it or give us quality of life upgrades. Maybe bigger outdoor environments, more spells, deeper customization. If live service is in play, which it probably will be, you can expect ongoing seasonal content, new quests, events, Halloween feasts, Quidditch tournaments, and of course, cosmetic items for wands and house robes. We know that's going to happen. I mean, the job ads do mention cosmetics and continuous updates, so don't be shocked at all if after launch, you see expansions or online events to keep players coming back, similar to how Destiny or any other MMO might handle it. But again, hopefully balanced so solo players still feel that wizarding adventure as the main meal. It doesn't need to be a side salad here. It needs to be the big offering. And then finally, I want you to think about the Hollywood side. If the game is indeed syncing with the HBO series, there could be references to plot points from the books. Maybe the game will foreshadow events or myths that the show will then explore. I think that would actually be really cool for fans who follow both. It would be hard to balance it, especially if the show comes out first and then the game. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're going to connect it somehow. So where does it leave us? Well, in a nutshell, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is real. It's years away, and its exact form is a mystery. I mean, we have the credible stuff, the exec interviews, the official job post. The overall picture is that W Games is heavily invested in this title. The lore coordination with the HBO show tells me that it's a big picture plan, and industry insiders say it's practically guaranteed to be moving forward. But that's just the details that we know so far. We have hints, clues that point to a traditional story-driven RPG, other hints that point to a major online multiplayer element. What's for sure is don't expect concrete news until WB announces it. Ignore all the wild fan predictions that have no backing. I mean, for now, your best bet is to stay patient. We'll go with these reports, temper your expectations, but I think the safe takeaway is for us today, Legacy 2 is on the way. It's not close to release. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but it is coming. I mean, I want answers, you want answers, but the truth is we're going to be piecing this one together probably for the next year with these corporate breadcrumbs. I'll keep tracking the updates, and when official info drops, I'll definitely drop a video and break it down for you guys. So you let me know, what exactly do you need Hogwarts Legacy 2 to provide you to be a success? I'll see you guys soon.